I find it very interesting to watch over these past few weeks of a few notably large for the TF2 sphere creators come out of the woodworks and push back against a large and growing thought of asking Valve for quickplay back. And after their most recent update where they conceded on muting free-to-plays, they've given us an inch. Why shouldn't we go a mile? I actually wanted to stake my claim in this topic because, one, I find it interesting, and two, this is my passion. Team Fortress 2 is my passion. I love this game, and I want it to be better, quite frankly. Casual fucking suck. So, first on my list here today is a video titled When Was TF2's Golden Era by Indy, where he proceeds to not only shit on everything that came before, but also only show the bad parts of TF2's history pre-Meet Your Match, and ignores all the good things, with flat-out misinformation and lies. The star video he uses to paint all of quickplay as horrid ad-ridden hellscape servers simply didn't exist by the time of 2014. That was from 2012.
I'd like to remind everyone that due to the subjective nature of a discussion like this...
Oh, shut the fuck up about subjective natures. Alright, here's my fucking problem, alright? Yes, we can do all this, hassle about subjective, but that does not invalidate an opinion. The entire human experience is subjective, okay, guy? So, but what we can do is say an aggregate of opinions and a large quantity of people, and as you mentioned in the very beginning, growing number of people, consider this to be not great where TF2 is now. Oh, yes, it's all opinions, yes, but when, like, for example, let me hit you with this, alright? In my humble opinion, Gavin is a pink elephant, okay? However, 99.9% of all people who are not me will think he's not. Alright? But that's still an opinion. Now, on the flip side, if 99.9% of people started saying Gavin is a pink elephant, you might need to start looking in a mirror, right? And thinking, huh, maybe I am. Maybe I am. So yeah, when a huge proportion, I don't have data on this, but from what grumblings I've heard from the internet, it feels like 80%. I'll be generous and say 70 to 60% of TF2 players want quick play back. It makes you kind of wonder if maybe, hypothetically, possibly, you're fucking wrong.
Still debate today as to whether or not cosmetics have forever ruined the game's...
Okay, this is another fucking thing. Again, ad hominem, right? It's like, people who are discussing this topic because they like it are children who do not have the concept. It's like, there's a degree of, I know he's trying to play the character of a humble presenter, but
he comes off as patronizing.
Patronizing is a very good word. The undertone is, I am the smartest man in this room, how can you retards not see that? Okay? And the thing is, I don't appreciate that, first off. Whereas, that's a pretty big deal, but what do hats physically do to you?
This was also around the time when the plague of TF2 YouTubers really started, with...
Plague? I mean, it's Germa. I guess, like, plague is a goofy way to refer to him because he's got, like, the germ aesthetic. But he didn't say it like it was a joke.
No. That came off as an insult.
And I'm just like, this is some of the best content TF2 had in my book.
This is objectively the best years of Team Fortress 2.
This is
objectively.
What Germa and Star is what every single other Team Fortress 2 YouTuber is trying to be. Right?
Yes.
If you're trying to be anything except Germa and Star funny times, it's very rare that you find any success. The only alternative content style is Uncle Dane, which is like strategy videos. Mr. Paladin might be a third option, where yes, he's showing you gameplay, but he's also showing you insights into how to play better, which is kind of a middle ground between the two. But by and large, most people are trying to be Germa and Star. That's just it. I don't know if that's how I would describe it, Mr. Indie, but okay.
Which you're still suffering through as we speak.
Suffering. Gavin, we're suffering.
Apparently I am a plague. Apparently I am a disease.
Yes,
apparently
you are a disease upon this
specifically
realm.
me, according to this Swishcast member, TF2 Swishcast guy, Team Fortress 2 podcast, by the way. So he's also a disease.
Which is we're both agreeing we're all diseases
That's
here.
the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of, if you're into TF2 history and want to keep learning about all the forgotten shenanigans that this game has gone through, consider subscribing.
No.
Yes. Here's the thing. Don't watch the content about us having fun with the game. Watch content about us learning about the history of people having fun with this game. I'm just like, okay. Like, you didn't have to call, like, I was gonna be like, live and let live, your content style is yours, mine is mine, but now you've called me out. Now you've called me and my homies out, and now I'm like, bro, you fucked up. You done fucked up. You shouldn't have done that, moron. See, okay, and you're kind of right, and again, I'm gonna wait until he, like, mentions or doesn't mention Tough Break and Gunmetal. But the problem I'm having here is, like, he's talking about all of the bad parts of these time periods.
Yes.
But what about the great things that were happening?
What about the good?
So now we have to fight over the big toy, which is how do people click a button and get into a game, right? And the issue I have here is quickplay was a relatively elegant solution to this problem. It will find a server, any server, that will make it so that you can have a diversity of experience. When I use casual mode, all I will get, and all a new player will get, is this sweat fest. That is all I will get. That is all I will see. I need to hype myself up to play Team Fortress 2. I did not have to use to do that. But the center of it is rat fucked.
Oh man, I'm
right?
so glad the flowers off in the New York State Park are still fine after the atom bomb was dropped on the fucking house.
Exactly, that's kind of the situation.
People are starting to praise this vague TF2 past that never really existed.
What do you mean never really existed?
And why do you think that is?
Even I, as a 13-year-old kid at the time, remember the game, and I remember it was good. And then over the years, I mean, maybe you could accuse me of suffering from burnout from playing it all the time, but I don't know. I think a part of it is just dragging your nuts along broken glass sometimes, where you join a match in casual, it's either a stomp or you get stomped, and there's barely ever any in between.
The game has always had problems, it always will have problems.
But to what magnitude?
The definitive golden age of TF2 is a myth, not unlike the mighty Yeti. No matter where you look...
Hold on, no it isn't. There was a time and a place when TF2 was more culturally relevant than it is now. Yes, subjectively, how much you love TF2 is up to you. But, also subjectively, and objectively actually, you still can prove, hey, TF2 was a lot more popular to play, not just culturally, but to play at a certain period of time. And that certain period of time was a while ago. Will we ever recapture that same player base? I doubt it. But for the people who still play it, who still want to play it, maybe we should expect more from Valve. Maybe. We should expect them to listen to their players.
Valve is always doing something we don't like, and all it really boils down to is change. Change is hard. I think streamer Northern Lions summed it up best when he said,
At some point you gotta face facts, okay? You'll never be 14 years old playing Team Fortress 2 ever again. So knowing that that's like the base level of human existence, you have to find a way to move on from.
But here's my problem with that. The game that I played when I was 14 still exists. It's still there. I can find community servers, and I get the same joy from playing those that I did when I was back then. The problem is how accessible they are. Because unfortunately, all the people in those servers, you know who they are? They're old heads like me. I want new blood back in. I want the new bloods. I want to see them again. To see the goofy shit they come up with when they don't know what they're doing. It's the problem. You get stuck playing with the exact same group of people, the exact same way, the exact same place. You know? And the new bloods that try to join casual, they get stomped instantly. I mean, yeah, sure, it was pretty bad back in the day in quickplay, but good lord, I don't remember it being this bad. You know? Ugh. Like, I get it. Okay, but I'm not looking for the exact same experience. I think some of what Valve has done is great. But having a better form of actually joining the game, of playing the game, a less toxic-ass way to do it. Come on, people. Is it so much to ask for? Is it too much to ask for to say, Valve, reinstitute the gameplay elements that you made a couple of years ago? It's the coding is still in the game. It's still there. Anyway, think about this, right? Why are you in these clips only playing on community maps? Probably because it's a superior experience, I agree. The server browser is ass. New players cannot navigate that, in my opinion. It's like, come on, man. You're proving all the points here. Is yes, yes, and yes. I want casual gone. We're not looking at the past necessarily. It's a guide, but we're looking to the future. We want TF2 to be, you know, a bussing metropolis again.
Next on my chopping block is Kaluka, and his competitive didn't ruin TF2 video, where he constantly flip-flops back and forth on points and definitions throughout the entire video. Once saying competitive players didn't have a hand in Valve's balanced decision-making, and then flipping back to saying, oh, all the good changes, those were competitive players. It's painfully obvious that this is a shitty, rushed attempt at trying to rebuttal Zessie Jesus' 4-hour feature-length film of Valve's fuck-up with Meet Your Match. Competitive players never asked for the specifics, but they sure as hell gave Valve the green light to go through with casual.
And sadly, a small tertiary group has been caught in the crossfire. A group that often goes unheard, but not unknown. One that goes unseen, but not unconsidered. You know who I'm talking about, chat. No, not werewolves. I'm talking about the comp players. The story of comp TF...
To say that competitive players have gone unheard...
That's what I was going to say.
...is kind of... It's not kind of, that's just wrong. They were the most vocal and the most heard and the most considered for years. for years. Up until Meet Your Match, and then people kind of laughed them out of the room because of the results of that update. But the competitive scene and the people involved in the competitive scene were the biggest guys in the TF2 sphere, aside from the other handful of YouTubers like Star and Germa and what have you, right? Like, these were the celebs in TF2. The competitive scene was very much highlighted and glorified. Like, and just to point to an example of this, you guys remember the Tip of the Hat streams? A lot of that was focused on competitive play, and the competitive players, and the competitive scene, and those were the most viewed TF2 streams, and they raised fuckloads of money for charity, and to say that they were never seen, nor considered, nor heard, is just wrong.
Also, there's the interesting fact of, like, if you look throughout TF2's YouTube history, and many would argue that TF2's presence on YouTube is like the defining characteristic of TF2 as a community in a lot of ways, especially early on. TF2's biggest YouTubers early on were, aside from Germa, the vast majority of them were talking about how to get better at the game, or were just straight up, like, they were straight up just comp players. Like, Star, Mr. Paladin, Uncle Dane, like, they were
Stabby, who else? Mr. Slin and X-Tine, all these guys, these other names that had evident and, or not evidence, but had, sizable platforms and what have you. Muselk too a little bit, but not so much. He kind of talked about competitive a bit, but
all I'm saying is Muselk's first videos were all tutorials on how to play soldier.
Yes, Woolen Sleeveless too. He touched a lot on competitive back in the day too. There are various other streamers too from back in the day. You had Sideshow, and you had fucking Sideshow's probably probably one of the most well-known names now because he moved on to Overwatch. And we had people like Sideshow too. Like the biggest streamers consistently were competitive players, almost always.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's again what he just said is wrong.
TF2 is like care. I think they do it because they realize if they try to blame Valve, they're not going to get very far. And even though it's correct, sitting there and being angry at Valve when Valve doesn't have to do anything about you isn't quite as satisfying as going after some more mortal prey that you could maybe actually harm. But either way, it's pointless.
Oh my god, of course he dismisses any legitimate concerns with how Valve handled the game and competitive player influence. No, you're just an evil, malicious, bad actor that wants to hurt people. Like, no, any of your concerns or arguments, they're not real. You just want to attack people for the sake of attacking people. Jesus, man. It's a little on the nose there.
It's because I don't think this is what Valve does. I don't think they just invited some people over, listened to them, and then put their stuff directly into the game without any thought.
No, but they did invite some guys over and listen to them and had their conversations influence their decision-making. Again, the specifics they did not do. But the 2 steps before that, yeah, that happened multiple times.
They did. The real truth of the matter is that the interviews that happened between 2015 to 2017 aren't really that weird. Because believe it or not, Valve has always kind of been listening, or at least they've always heard us, and I'll explain the difference between.
Oh, I thought you weren't heard. I thought you were this dismissed and downtrodden upon community that didn't have any exposure and but so now Valve listens to you. Now you have sway, and now you actually hold relevance in the sphere, and you're not just this tiny little group of fringe players here. Okay, good contradiction.
And finally, to finish off my triage of never being able to be included in any collaborative effort with anyone else in this sphere, we have Long Qdor and his "We Don't Need Any More Protest" video, where he decides to front-load it by insulting you, the viewer, if you, at any point, want quick play back. He insults you by calling you a greasy turbo virgin, and then cries when he decides to poke the hornet's nest. Brilliant.
New Balance patches and the turbo virgins are still clawing at the quick play door. Oh, these guys.
Oh, these guys.
I'm sure we can all calm down and have a nice, civil discussion about this in the comments, a flavour most quick play fans have shown me they are actively allergic to. So
I don't agree with this sentiment at all. All I have seen is people, like, hitting first, getting knocked on their ass, and then crying about it.
Yeah.
That from what I have seen of this whole debate sphere, right, it is essentially Zesty. Let's be real. It's Zesty Jesus. Zesty Jesus makes a point. People come after him. Zesty hits back. People are shocked that Zesty hit back. Like, and it's not just Zesty, it's anyone who concurs with him, right?
Yeah.
Like, this moment, I'm like, I hate your guts right now because you're being an asshole, right? You're gonna be an asshole and you're gonna expect me to not call you out. That's bullshit.
Perfect system like people talk it up to be, but at the same time...
Okay, I don't know where he's getting it's a perfect system like people talk it up to
Nobody
be.
says it was a perfect system. Everybody says
To
it was
my
a better
knowledge,
system.
Yes, exactly. To my knowledge, no one has said that quick play is perfect. But what many people have said is that it is far superior to the casual game coordinator.
Matchmaking currently is also by no means a perfect system.
Okay, so we're in agreement here. Okay, both of our systems are imperfect. What comes to mind is which is the more imperfect. And by and large, people are starting to agree quick play is the least imperfect system. Now, what you have to display to me is why is it a better system, and why should people not complain about wanting it back?
People. The innocent people who believe that the matchmaking system is inherently flawed in comparison to quick play and therefore think a reversion would be the healthiest thing for TF2. Those who just want to spread malice and hate and believe that any TF2 player who started playing after 2018 is an invalid human being, and those...
What? No. Okay, so what I want to focus on is number 2. Is like, I don't want to... This is actually a kind of a reasonable argument. If you didn't have experience with the system, who are you to tell me that the system is bad? I do think that some people who have experience with the system say that it was better, have evidence that it was better, might be better than people just saying, oh, I don't want to change it. Well, I didn't want it to change to casual game coordinator, so it appears we're at an impasse. You know?
modern day matchmaking here. It has its issues and they are as bright as bacon, but I absolutely do not want quick playback under any circumstances.
Why?
It's my opinion that better matchmaking would be healthier for TF2 than a total reversion of this 8-year-old system. My argument for this is that patching up the matchmaking systems to be better would require less work on Valve's end than a total reversion, and would give the modern day TF2 player back some of those quick play features that were sorely missed when they left.
So he just wants quick playback.
Well, hold on a second. Okay, let me think about this, right? Okay, we have a system that is... From everything Zesty has said, it's technically still in the game. The assets for it are still there, right? All you'd have to do is just undo that. It sounds there's equivalent amounts of effort from Valve here.
Yes.
If anything, it would, from this argument right here, it would honestly be easier to revert quick play and then change it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because the systems for quick play are still there. Edits to those systems can be made, hell, even with some of the lessons learned from the casual game coordinator. So, if your argument is, I want this to be as easy for Valve as possible, good, okay, so then we are in agreement, by your logic, that reverting quick play would be better. Because I don't see how it would be easier to make tweaks to a new system that, assumedly, you'd have to code new things for that aren't anything like quick play. Or alternatively, work on quick play and fix that up, which already exists. Oh, excuse me. Which already exists? I don't understand how one is that much easier than the other.
Left. This, to me, strikes the best and most realistic compromise between the quick play community and Valve.
Why should we compromise, though?
Why should we?
We are the customers. We pay their bills. Why do we owe them? Like,
as an upstanding,
debt was paid between us and them when we bought keys and crates and hats and all of this stuff. Okay, any debt that we owed them was paid then. They owe us, if anything else, from the amount of time that TF2 has been left unplayable. Look, we had 5 years of that. They reverted it, and now it's been a year, 2? Okay. Yeah, we still got a couple of things we're owed from Valve, I think.
I have spoken to, as they have typically responded by calling me a son of a...
Well, okay, I wouldn't have that response if you didn't have the response of saying, essentially, in no uncertain terms, that I'm an asshole first. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're coming out of the gate swinging at me. I'm just giving back. Again, in America, I don't know what wacky foreign land you come from, but in America, when you give guff to someone, you get it back, sometimes with interest. Okay? I assume, from what I've heard about other places in the world, it's kind of a similar deal. I don't know how this is a foreign concept to you, but I don't know what wacky foreign land you're from, so fair enough.
I have reached a point in my YouTube career where I actively have to delete any and all references to quick play in my comments to keep my viewers safe, as I have had
Keep them safe?
From what? People showing other people the problems with casual.
I will say, if any sort of naughty words are in there, if he lives in Britain or in other places, that may actually be illegal. So, you know what, fair enough. But, on the flip side, okay, I don't know how that works, but the way that he's saying it is like, oh, the comments are a threat. And
I've never seen any vitriolic.
No, I have not really in all of these that I've seen.
It's always
like
been people just pointing out straight out bullshit.
Now maybe he is actually Johnny on the spot with the delete button. And all of those have been erased from memory, and we're only seeing the very nice and reasonable anti-quick play comments. However, I get a slight sense that might not be true completely 100%. I don't know.
But when you have reached the point of a large public consensus that quick play fans are just not very nice people, you know you have some of the wrong people involved with a protest.
Who are these people?
Can we get some receipts?
Oh, receipts.
I do not think a bring back quick play protest is necessary for 2 reasons. 1, because, well, aforementioned rant, and 2, because it is just not in Valve's interest to bring back quick play. They would have...
Okay, and? I don't give a shit if it's in their interest.
I don't care what Valve thinks.
Yeah, no, you're gonna do it. Because we told you to. Because we're the community that gives you money. You know, we make sure you can pay the bills. And on top of that, we did that in spite of your game on its standard game mode being unplayable for, as the last guy mentioned, 5 years. Who else would do that? Valve is fucking lucky they have us. And all we're asking for is just a slight tweak. Go back in the code, it's still there, just flip the switch on it. That's all we're asking. It's really not that much to ask, not that much to do. The question is beating the janitor in that office over the head with a brick until he does it, you know?
We gotta...
Not literally, before someone accuses me of being violent and evil and whatever, no, not literally.
That, unfortunately, is the only argument that matters here. To end off this
No, that's not the only argument that matters here. Because all the other TF2 protest movements, like there's a comment down there that points out, we protested, it worked, protest again, it'll probably work again eventually.
section of the video, allow me to share with you a clip from the supposed originator of the Bring Back Quick Play movement here on YouTube. He has made several videos talking about how Quick Play is going to be coming back to TF2, and I decided to leave my opinion on the matter in the comments of one such video, and here is the level of maturity I was met with in response.
As someone who has been playing TF2 long enough to remember Quick Play, I am still surprised every time I hear someone say back. In my opinion, we 100% do not need Quick Play back. This seems to be an opinion that has been popularized by several YouTubers riding those rose-tinted glasses to high hell.
Yeah, he does this impression when reading out the whole comment. And
Okay, well,
it's okay, and it's pretty fucking... Because first off, that's how you fucking sound, okay? That's how you're talking, bro. He's got you dead to rights.
Gabber is a very brash fellow. He's a very brash...
Really?
He's a very
Gabber,
yeah.
the guy that we got confused for being?
Yes, he's a very brash TF2 YouTuber.
Okay, yeah, first off...
I don't agree...
I
don't agree with the way he tones and phrases things, but I do agree with the message that he puts out.
Yeah, well, look, okay, imagine showing up to Seth Rogen and then being like, he does that laugh, and then you're like, God, I hate that. It's like, bro, it's Seth Rogen. You showed up to his place, you showed up to his comedy set, and you didn't expect to hear the like, huh? God, I'm watching this Weird Al guy, and he just makes really silly music all the time. I really wish he'd make something serious. It's fucking Weird Al. Like, what were you expecting? What did you want?
And also, the voice he does is kind of funny. You can't deny that.
You can't deny it's a pretty funny voice. And
if I were in the position of Lockdoor, I probably would laugh as well along with that. Because
here's the thing, that's how he sounds. Like, not just the accent, but also the way he's talking down to people. Yeah, kind of sounds like you're some pompous, high-class Brit Bonger a-hole. All right. Look, dude, I don't know you personally. If he sees this or something, if Gavin's video blows up and he sees this, I do not mean to be an asshole to you, okay? I'm sorry. However, you really gotta look at how you sound, bro. And the way you make it sound, it's like, I'm accusing all Quick Play fans, or at least a good proportion of them, of being horrible people. I don't know how. I haven't seen the receipts. The people who aren't a-holes are a-holes by association. And my proof for that is someone calling out my argument in a goofy manner. Like, I don't know, man. Like, really, you have to kind of look in the mirror and think to yourself, hey, man, am I a humorless dick? And you really gotta think about that and really think, okay, do I want to be that guy? I don't think you... Look, I'm gonna give you the benefit of doubt, Lonkador. I don't know who you are, really, but I don't think you want to be that guy. I hope you don't. And I hope things are going good for you. Okay, let's continue being assholes to him.
This man is so...
It doesn't even sound like me.
He failed to make fun of me.
He failed to make fun of me. Bro, it sounds like you! No, you... Oh, he is not taking this well.
Number 1. Sounds more like the hedonism bot than me, seriously.
You sound like the hedonism bot then.
7 minutes, in which he calls me a moron 3 times, a bunch of swear words I don't care to repeat, an ape...
An ape.
and confuses the
Aren't we all?
opinion and argument several times over, something not even a moronic ape would do. This, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, but
full mental and sexual maturity of several members of the quick play community on display. Give these people your time at your own risk.
this seems, first off, extremely petty. You really need to be able to laugh at yourself.
That last part really seems very malicious.
Yeah, dude, come on. Laugh at yourself a little bit. Look, I recognize I sound like some kind of massive turbo virgin when I'm doing my voice. Like my normal everyday voice. I sound nasally and nerdy and all that shit. Hey, fucking fair enough. All right. But the difference is I will fully admit, yeah, that's how I sound. Come on, guy. But you don't do yourself any favors when you act in the manner you accuse other people of acting without providing the requisite evidence of them acting that way. It just makes you look like you're building straw men and knocking them down.
These videos are fucking awful. These are poorly made. Why shouldn't we ask Valve? Why shouldn't we ask the developers, the company, as their consumer, to, better their fucking game? Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we ask for a system that just functioned better? There is no serious rebuttal to quickplay. And I think this comment really put it best. Valve will not ban the bots, stop asking. They fixed it. Comic 7 will never release, stop asking. They published it. Valve will never unmute free-to-plays, stop asking. They reverted it. So why stop now? Why stop now? That's all I'm saying. Thank you.